I'm Kenneth Witt, and welcome to Gun Dog Nation. Gun Dog Nation is much more than a podcast. It's a movement to build a community of people around the world that like to watch a well-trained dog do what it's bred to do. Also, we want to get our youth involved into the sport of gun dogs, whether it be hunting, sport, or competition. We want to build a community of people united to preserve our gun dog heritage and to be better gun dog owners. Tune in to each weekly episode and learn about training, dog health, wellness, and nutrition. We will also offer tips for hunting with dogs and for competition, hunt tests, field trials, and other dog sports that involve gun dogs. Please go to our website, gundognation.com, and subscribe to our email list. We will keep you informed weekly with podcasts that are coming out. We also will be providing newsletters with training tips and health tips for your dog. You can also go to patreon.com/gundognation and become a member. There's different levels of membership on there. Just go check that out. Also, would like to thank Sean Brock for providing the music for this show, the introduction and the outro. As Sean Brock, he played everything on there except the banjo by Scott Vestal and the dobro by Jerry Douglas. Sean is a neighbor of mine from over in Harlan, Kentucky. I'm just crossing the mountain in Hyden, Kentucky, and he's a super talented guy. But most of all, I want you guys to check out the Creekers. They are also from Hyden, Kentucky, and this is an up-and-coming bluegrass and country band, and these guys are hot. They're all over TikTok and YouTube. You will hear these guys because in a year or so, they will be on the radio. They are very talented. Their videos are going viral on the net. These boys are family. Two of the lead singers, one grew up with my daughters, and the other one is my cousin's son, so he's family. But check them out. Check out the Creekers. Also, last but not least, if you want to buy a hat, koozie, t-shirt, or even gun dog supplies, go to shopgundognation.com and you can purchase any of those items. Thank you so much for listening. It's a privilege to have people that want to put up with me talking about dogs all the time. I actually enjoy what I do, and I'm so glad to have this opportunity, and thank you. Hello, welcome back. It's Kenneth Witt with the Gun Dog Nation podcast coming to you today from Fort McCavitt, Texas. And I'm really excited to do this one. These guys, we've been talking a little bit before with this show, and we got so much to talk about. We're going to narrow it down to a few topics today. And Matt, I got to tell you this, man, every time I see your name, I've got a really good friend here in Texas that played football at Texas Tech. He was like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu world champion, and he's like 6'7". Talk about a scary dude, but he's as nice as he can be. His name's Matt McCormick.
There we go.
Yeah, and then to beat it all after all that stuff, you know, he's like he was a D1 football player, then a world champion fighter, and now he's into guns. He's a dangerous individual. So
yeah, no doubt.
And
no
if
doubt.
you see him,
too.
he's massive, but he's also, if you talk to him, he's like a teddy bear. You know, I wouldn't want to make him mad, and I won't. But anyway, I just when I see your name, I can't help but think about him. So guys, I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. You've got an extensive resume, and then let's talk about something that's dear to our hearts, and it's something that y'all sent me to explore, and we're going to talk about this. But Matt, let's let you start first.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, Ken. Excited to be here. Excited to chat with you. I'm Matt McCormick. My partner Brady Davis. We own Flying V, which is a recreational ranch management business based out of Bozeman, Montana. And Brady and I have been friends for a long time. We know way too much about each other, and we decided to go even deeper and start this business together. And man, we're on a bit of a heater right now. It's been really, really great, really fun working land, seeing the fruits of our labor as projects mature. And we're in the best time of the year right now, right? Fall. This is what we all wait for. It's what we all hope for. Brady and I were driving down the countryside today, and I was looking out, and all the leaves are kind of gone, and it's starting to get that drab color around here in Montana. And man, this is the time to be alive.
Hey, you said it, Matt. I'll let Brady introduce himself, and then before we continue, I fell in love with Montana, and I've been there a bunch this year now, and you guys are lucky.
Yes,
Brady?
we are.
Yeah.
Yes,
Tell these. Well, Matt,
we have it good. So
no, go ahead. I'm sorry, Brady. Go ahead.
I just said I'm Brady Davis. Here in Bozeman, Montana. First time caller, long time listener, and really happy to be on the podcast with you. I've listened to a bunch of these podcasts that you have on here, Kenneth, and we're we're dog lovers and dog guys. We love everything hunting and especially wing shooting with dogs. And so, luckily we're in a position in our business where we get to do a lot of hunting. We get to be on a lot of really nice ranches, and the dogs, play a very active role in what we do literally day to day. I mean, everywhere we go, Matt and I went and looked at a couple of ranches today, and, we're airing dogs at different ranches. And I mean, there's always a rodeo with us with dogs, in the bed of the truck. We had them in the bed of the truck. We had them in the kennels. We had them in the back seat in crates. I mean, we look like a damn traveling circus going down the road, which that's just pretty normal for us, man.
I like how you roll. Listen, gentlemen, I know I had a long phone conversation while I was driving with Brady, and we got deep into dogs, and actually you educated me on a breed of dog we'll talk about later. But I learned enough about you and about you telling me about Matt, and now talking to Matt for a little bit there. I know you guys, if you do something, you do it right. I can't imagine either one of you not doing anything shy of perfection. And and when I talked to Brady on my road trip for this long period of time, it was probably about 4 to 6 weeks ago, roughly. He didn't tell me what was going on behind the scenes, and then I was reaching out to him to get him on the podcast, and he tells me what he's doing, and we talk about the concept and behind this. So I'm so excited because you all. I'm so excited when y'all sent me this knife today, and we're going to open this up. I couldn't wait. I was like a kid at Christmas because I'm a knife freak, and we're going to get deep into this. Here's what I love. My wife was with me, and I was like, it has a Band-Aid. I'm smart enough to know that's in there for a reason, and I'm a lawyer. So, you want to, it's safety. I got a Flying V sticker. We'll put that on some of my dog stuff. But, man, the only thing I like about as good as knives, I love leather. But this case is excellent. And Brady was telling me, and he said something. I'm old school. I'm a lot older than you guys. But Brady was telling me that plastic and Kydex or whatever you call it, don't cut it. I love that. If you want a high-quality knife, why in the world would you put it in plastic? So, and I'm not knocking other knife makers. That's your business, right? But I want y'all to look at the craftsmanship of this handle. I know this doesn't do it justice, y'all, and I'm trying my best to let you see it without getting stitches. I'm actually about 80 miles from, about 68 miles from a hospital. So I don't want to, and that Band-Aid I don't think would fix it. Now, guys, I'm done talking. Tell me why you made this, and tell me everything behind it.
Go ahead, Matt. You can start.
This is your project, your brainchild, your story, your history, your friends, your life, all in one product.
And I'm going to put an asterisk in there, y'all listeners. Brady's a longtime rodeo guy. So he's had a lot of experience with leather.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So continue.
We're going to be posting a video here soon, and we talk about this in the video. But Flying V, our business, as you know, we do land and ranch management. We never once set out to be a product company. We never in our business model ever decided like we're going to sell some cool products. However, Matt and I have spent literally thousands of days in the field together hunting, and we have just complained about these crappy throwaway products that we all use. And I think especially in the world of waterfowl hunting, which is what we do more of, we love all wing shooting, but we are primarily waterfowl guys. We feel like all these products coming to market, they're all just kind of throwaway products, right? I mean, you buy them, they're cheap. All these brands are vying, for a price point. And at least up here in Montana, we have really cold weather, really extreme environment, and everything breaks. And we just got kind of sick of it. And so we decided that, there will probably be a few products over the years that we release. And if we do, we are going to release the best version of the best product that we could possibly ever do. And so when we came up with the idea of the knife, it all started because, Matt and I also do a bit of big game hunting. And, in the big game hunting world, it's very common. A guy shoots an elk or a deer or whatever he shoots, and he's got his buddies there with him, and they get up to the animal. It's so normal for a guy to pull out a knife that his dad or his granddad gave to his dad and passed it down. But when we go wing shooting or waterfowl hunting with guys, and we're laying birds out on a trailer or tailgate, and we're cleaning birds after the hunt, guys are just grabbing, whatever pocket knife or whatever thing they have in the door of their pickup. And there's not really a heritage built around knives in the wing shooting world. And we thought that, we hated every knife that we had ever used. And we decided that we needed to, come up with a better version. And so we spent, what was it, Matt? 2 years prototyping this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did prototype after prototype after prototype. And backing up a little bit, years ago, I lived in Colorado and I was a farrier. I was a horseshoer, and I did some blacksmithing, and there's an association called the World Championship Blacksmiths, and they have these contests all over the country and all over the world. And I wanted to compete in those. And I found out there was a man who lived down the road from me a handful of miles who was a multiple-time world champion. His name's John McNerney, owns a company called Yukon Forge. And I showed up at John's house one day and told him that I wanted to be his apprentice. This was, dang near 20 years ago. And he told me no at first. And I just kept pestering him. I said, listen, I'm going to come be your apprentice and I'm going to learn from you. And finally, he's like, all right, dude, here's the deal. You be at the forge at 4 a.m., have the fire going by 4:30, because they use these big coke forges, right? So you got to start a fire in it, get the coke hot, get the air going, get everything going in it, get the coke going by 4:30, have coffee going by 5, and I'll be out and we'll start working together. And this led to a really fun relationship. John McNerney and I became very close friends, and I ended up apprenticing him for him for years. And it was really fun. We ended up competing together in the World Championship blacksmithing contests. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about horseshoeing. I learned a lot about blacksmithing. I learned a lot about bladesmithing, making knives, and all kinds of things. And so when Matt and I came up with this idea that we were going to build this bird blade, we knew who we were going to call, and it was John McNerney. I mean, if anybody's ever watched the TV show Forged in Fire, he's won that before. He's been a judge there. I mean, he's very, very well-known blacksmith. And interestingly enough, when I lived in Colorado at that time, that's also when I got into waterfowl hunting. And at that same time, I didn't know anything about killing geese. And John McNerney was the only guy, dumb enough to come out with me. And neither of us knew anything. And he'd come lay in the snowbank with me, and we'd shoot him sometimes, and we'd get skunked a bunch of times. And he was just dumb enough to come freeze his tail off with me and hang out and hunt. And he also had a really cool yellow Labrador at the time named Thor. And Thor was the very first Labrador retriever I ever saw go pick up a Canada goose. And so, there's a lot of history there between John and I. But when we decided that we wanted to release a knife, this is how we came up with it. And so we started the process. And then as we started talking about the knives, at Flying V, we're in the West, we're in Montana. And we've kind of planted our flag as the Western waterfowl hunting guys. And, I come from a very strong rodeo, cowboy, ranching background. Matt's been around ranching for years and years. We wanted to do, we always like to say, we like to combine cool cowboy shit with waterfowl hunting. And so we were not looking to build a knife with a Kydex holster. We like to combine these Western elements into anything that we're doing. And there's nothing cooler than handmade leather goods. I mean, listen, I'm a metal guy. I think blacksmithing's awesome. There's nothing I love more than leather, man. It smells good. It feels good in the hand. It patinas over time. And so when we reached out to John, what was really neat is that his son Wyatt, who at the time 16, 17 years old, is actually a very renowned leather worker. And so Matt and I got on a call with him, and John's like, hey, dude, I love the idea. We can build the knife. Wyatt will hand make every single one of these sheaths. And so it's a father-son duo building these things. And, you know, we were just very excited about that. Matt came up with a really great idea. You can talk to him, Matt, about the no loop on the sheath.
Hello, this is Kenneth Witt with Gundog Nation. Many people quickly become frustrated and confused when training a retriever. Cornerstone Gundog Academy's online courses eliminate all the guesswork by giving you a proven training system that will help you train a dog that anyone will be proud to have in their blind. Learn where to start, what to do next, and what to do when problems arise. Visit cornerstonegundogacademy.com to learn how you can train your retriever. I have used this method myself. I have been through it a couple times with different dogs. I refer back to it lots of times when I'm trying to get dogs freshened back up for hunt test season. I highly recommend them. I have actually been a subscribed member of Cornerstone Gundog Academy since 2016, and I would suggest anyone use it. I highly recommend it. They have an app that you can get to on your phone. You can do it from your phone, your laptop. You can't get any more convenient than that. I've used it. It's proven and tried. And I know literally hundreds of people that have done the same thing that I've talked to. Visit cornerstonegundogacademy.com and learn how to train your own retriever. Hello, this is Kenneth Witt, and Gundog Nation is proud to have one of their sponsors as Retriever Training Supply, based in Alabama. Retriever Training Supply offers fast shipping on quality gear. Your dog will love it. Visit retrievertrainingsupply.com to purchase gear to help you train your retriever. Listen, they have some of the best leashes I've ever found. It's stuff's made in America. Their leashes are, and they source them locally. They have anything you want, fast, friendly service, fast shipping, just good people. Retriever Training Supply. Okay.
Yeah. So as we were developing this, we needed to make it for waterfowl hunters and upland hunters, right? That's our niche. Those are our people. Whenever we meet a waterfowl hunter or a pheasant hunter or any sort of upland hunter, it's just instant friends, right? We have a lot of common ground there. And if you're going to make a knife for those guys, there's no need for, a belt loop on the sheath. Because it's going to go in a bag or a vest or a blind, satchel or whatever it is you carry, that goes with all your other stuff. And in waterfowl, a lot of guys wear waders. You don't want to have a knife on your waders. You need it in your blind bag or your boat bag or wherever the hunt's going to end. That's where it needs to be. It needs to be with you all the time. But be easily accessible. So there is no belt loop on the sheath for that purpose, right? It's purposely developed for waterfowl hunting and upland hunting.
To be at the cleaning table.
Yeah.
Interesting. So let me ask you this, guys. I got questions. When I got it, the stuff I clean is I clean sandhill crane, probably the biggest thing that I ever clean in Lubbock when I'm up there hunting. But then it's just grouse and ducks and stuff. Mentally, when I was talking to Brady about this on the phone and picturing it in my head, everything he told me pretty much came out. The only thing that I was surprised by is the length of the blade. It seems fairly long, and I know there's a reason for that. So please tell us why the length of this blade and what the exact. It looks like it's 3.5, 4 inches. No, probably.
Yeah. So it's a. And I got to pull up the exact measurements, but it's basically a 4-inch blade. We made it shallow. We didn't want a big, deep blade, with a big front on it, because we knew that, the people that are going to be using this blade are going to be cleaning everything from chuckers and quail to teal on up to the sandhill cranes, like you just mentioned. And for us, we shoot a lot of big late season Canada geese, big birds, right?
Yes.
And so we wanted something that had a thick enough spine on the blade to have some rigidity, but also for that tip to have some surgical precision when we're cleaning those small birds.
Okay.
And so the reason we did the length that we did was because it truly, in the world of cleaning birds, is a do-all blade. And we have cleaned early season teal and quail with it, again, on up to the sandhill cranes and big late season Canada geese. And so it was designed for that. So it's a 440C stainless blade with a G10 handle that we've done some machining on. We've got a nice finger spot for it for your pointer finger or middle finger, and it's just been really good. When we started our original prototypes, the blade was bigger, taller, and thicker, and we just kept sizing it down by micro measurements each round of prototyping. And then we landed on this one, and gosh, man, I don't know. I mean, we must have cleaned 500 to 700 different birds with it before we settled on this exact one. Yeah. And once we got it, it felt good. It felt really balanced in the hand.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're cleaning birds, if you're breasting them or however you're cleaning, it feels very balanced between the handle and the blade. And that was really important to us because when you're cleaning birds, you know, you're holding that blade either horizontal or tip pointing down a little bit. You know, you're cleaning it with your wrist cocked. And so the balance of the blade feels very important. You know, we've seen other knives that are very handle heavy. We've seen knives that are very blade heavy. That makes it really hard when you're cleaning those smaller birds, those smaller upland birds, your chuckers, your huns, your teal, your, you know, small ducks and things. It makes it really hard to be surgical if the blade is out of balance. And
well,
so
I love it. And
it was something
else
and again, we a little bit nerd out on everything that we do. Matt especially is very analytical, and I appreciate that at a high level about him because he thinks about things that I don't. Even as a guy who's made a lot of knives and done a lot of forging, it was really interesting hearing Matt's feedback on the balance of the blade in the hand.
Well, I like it. I tell you something. I know it's just little things, but I even like the how. I know I'm lefty, but I like how you can put your finger right here. So I haven't cleaned thousands of birds, but I own a game ranch here, a high fence hunting ranch. As a matter of fact, I got a hunter coming Saturday, so I'm always cutting animals. And I know, guys, that this wasn't designed for big game. That's not what you had in mind. But I could use this very easy. I like the size of the blade. I like the thickness of it. But here's something else I noticed because I just got through cleaning some waterfowl before I came back, and this handle, it feels like it's something I could grip onto even if it's wet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yes. And I love that. I mean, like most knives are slick handled but this handle has got, I don't know if it's just ridges in it. It's hard to tell here, but that's something that really caught my attention because, you know, you're rinsing off stuff. Your hands are wet. Anytime you're cleaning something, your fingers are wet. Even when I clean big game out here. So I like that I can hang on to it.
Yeah, no doubt.
So what went into the handle?
Yeah, so it's a G10 handle. Originally, we talked about doing some sort of impregnated wood handle. And we ended up going with the G10 handle for that purpose because it would never get slick. And if you groove it out the way that it is grooved, even if it gets wet, it will still have, you'll still have a solid grip on it with a glove on or your bare hand or, even surgical rubber gloves, which we use a lot of when we're in the facility cleaning, like in one of our butcher rooms or something. We use that. But you can always use it and always have a good grip on it. And you see how the handle has an arc underneath it. That's more of an ergonomical, so it fits in your hand a little bit better. So if you are cleaning something that takes a little more pressure, you can put that pressure and feel comfortable with it in your hand, right? With your hand all the way around it.
Yes.
And that length, I want to mention something about that length. So Brady and I clean birds two different ways. So And that's the way most people are. Some people clean it this way. Some people, there's more than one way to skin a duck, right? So
Yes.
what you got to do is you got to try to do the best for everybody. And this knife actually really complements both of our styles, and the blade length really comes into play there. So it's a scalpel blade, right? I love the scalpel blade. I think that is, for bird cleaning specifically, I mean, it is hands down the best. The weight is nice because if it's too light, you lose track of it. You don't know where it is. Obviously, you're watching it, but there's, if it's too light, I don't personally like it. But the length of it, I'm running, a collarbone. If I'm breasting a bird, I'm going to go collarbone to breastbone, and then I'm going to lay it sideways and rip that open and use the whole face of the blade to cut that breast out. And it's one swipe. You can take a breast out in 3 to 4 swipes if done correctly with a blade that long. You can't do that with a short blade.
Right.
And you can't do that with a drop point or anything like that. You can't do it with the scalpel blade that's over 4 inches long. You can make one clean, solid swipe, pull it all off in one go. It's the best knife that we've ever seen.
You guys, especially because I know y'all are hardcore waterfowl guys, y'all should make a really good demo video if you haven't done so already for like YouTube, because what you're saying, I can picture it just because I actually enjoy, I'm not so much, I like getting meat off animals. I don't like field dressing animals is not my favorite, but when it starts skinning down and stuff, that's what I enjoy. I just take my time and go. But
yeah.
I'm listening to you and I'm picturing what you're doing, and I'm seeing, like, I've had to clean birds with my Benchmade pocket knife, and I'm sitting there doing swipes at it, trying to get that breast out, and all I'm doing is making grooves and not getting all the meat, and it's just not clean.
Yep.
Clean cut.
Yeah, and that blade will allow you to get it super clean up against that central breastbone, all the way down through the rib cage, all the way to that wing socket, and be able to do one clean swipe at the wing socket and be able to pull it out right away like that.
I'll tell you another place you guys need to. I don't know if it's your style of hunting. Do you guys turkey hunt?
Oh yeah,
This right here will be a turkey hunter's dream.
Yeah,
I turkey hunt pretty heavy.
We've been using it for the last couple years in the prototyping stage in the last season turkey hunting, and it's phenomenal. Those turkey breasts are really deep, right?
Yes.
Deep, long cuts. And going back to what Matt was saying, I really like it having the less cuts you have to make along the breastbone, the less meat is wasted. Because you're able to surgically scalpel it off of the breastbone and come around and curve around that bird. And so that's where the length and that thinner tip and point of the blade really comes in handy. And this knife will hold an edge at a very, very high level. And so you can just literally just slide it down because of the balance in your hand and the weight, it will just slide right down a turkey or any other bird and just peels that off just beautifully with less waste. You see guys clean knives with short blades and dull knives, and there's a bunch of meat left on the breastbones.
Yes.
Whereas with this, it really gets all that good meat off and keeps it intact as well without being hacked up.
The other nice part is if you are pulling, legs or wings off, especially with turkeys and geese and stuff like that, you can use that blade as a breaking knife as well, because it is stiff enough to be able to, pull off that joint. And I think that's really important compared to a flex blade of some sort, something a little thinner that has some flex. It's really hard to, at least for the average guy, the layman, to be able to pull off those joints with something that has flex in it. And so it's got a really stiff spine. It will not flex, and it's just a solid all around knife, man. It's really good.
We've done from time to time. We'll fully spatchcock ducks. We've done that. Cutting them down the spine and skinning it around so the skin is intact. You've got the wing base, you've got the legs on there, and it's a full flat spatchcocked, duck. And great point, Matt. I mean, it works really well for that, getting in and out of those joints. And so we've been very happy with it. We're very excited about it. right now we started on November 4th through November 30th. We're doing a hunt giveaway where anybody who goes online to our website, which is flyingv.us, and purchases one of the bird blades, they're automatically entered to win a hunt with us on a place that's near and dear to our hearts here in Southwest Montana called the Kaiser Ranch. In my opinion, it's one of, if the not best, waterfowl hunting ranches in the state of Montana. Beautiful scenery, beautiful hunting, but whoever wins it gets to bring a buddy with them. All they got to do is get to Bozeman, Montana on their own, and then we have a place to stay. We'll have all the food, and we'll get to hunt together for a couple days. And so we're very excited about that as well. But that's going on this entire month in November as well.
Well, nice. Hey, I'll be glad to promote that on all my stuff for you guys, and because I think that's a great idea. And I can honestly say this, gentlemen, and people can believe me or not. That's their freedom, but I don't endorse stuff like that. Unless I really believe in it, just because I don't need to. This is not, anyone would know you don't get rich with podcasts. I enjoy doing this to meet people like you, to meet dog people too. And I really believe in your product, and it's made in America. So yeah,
it is made in America by Americans with American products. Father and son team, man. It's really cool.
Really, and, cool. I love to see. I've got to meet people in the industry that's developed products, and it's so neat to see somebody that has a passion for it and has a desire to produce something that's perfect. And when you told me about it on the phone, Brady, I was like, yeah, I can't wait to see this, because I know I'm not going to be let down. And I was not.
Yeah.
It was much better than I could have imagined. But
That's
good
great.
news is I get to use this month. I'm going to go hunt up in the Panhandle at the Big Honker Lodge. He's a friend of mine that has a Big Honker podcast. Jeff invited me to come up there and hunt, and I'm so I'll get to use that, and I'll have it in front of all those guys, and it'll be a lot.
You're going to be cleaning some specs.
Yeah. I can't wait. And then I've got a sandhill crane hunt, what I do every year with a bunch of buddies in Lubbock. I've got a couple other hunts. I'm actually trying to do an Arizona quail hunt with the guy I did a podcast with named Brett Browning. So I'm going to use this thing.
That's great.
I'm going to get it bloody.
Let us know what you think of it.
I will.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, I know Brady's dog background. We had a real extensive nerdy dog conversation.
I bet.
What do you hunt with? What's your choice?
So I've always been the cameraman. That's how I cut my teeth in and around here. So a dog actually was always, a character in the stories I was selling for the most part. Right.
Yes,
and they were never a part of my life, in my home, but I always had dogs around me. And, although I grew up with labs, as any Midwesterner would, I grew up in Wisconsin, and we always had a black lab, and that was great. Duck dog, public duck dog, meat dog, right? Dad trained it, and they always did good. But what I realized was that there was no way that I was going to be able to travel the world duck hunting and goose hunting and documenting these people's lives if I had a dog with me, because I wouldn't be able to give the dog the attention that it deserved. So, enter Brady into my life, who has no idea how to run a camera, but loves to run dogs. And perfect. So they became, kind of our pride and joy test subjects out in front of the camera. And I, his lab led, when he and I were already hunting together and everything when he got him, and I will take credit for naming him. And then I've documented his life from a puppy all the way until now at 8 years old as, our veteran hunter. And so dogs were never in our household, but I was always living kind of vicariously with other people around me and their dogs. And so when I looked at our business model, and now that I've removed myself from behind the camera a little bit, still there, but Also, we got guys that are working with us and helping, bring guys along on this journey for content creation, which is, a big thing these days.
Yes.
And they get to come out and hunt with us. I'm getting more time to be in front of the camera now and, spending time on the ground, which is great. So what I decided was, Brady's got the waterfowl dog, position in our group, and we're always looking for ways to make things really efficient and really good for everybody around us. So if Brady's the dog guy, I'm not on a waterfowl hunt, and I don't want to muddy the waters, and I want him to run his dogs and him be the guide. That's kind of the deal. So I decided to go a different route, and in Montana, we are very well known for our upland bird hunting here.
Yes.
And it's something that we've done a bit of, but the more time we spend on these legacy ranches in Montana, the more we're realizing that we need to have a better understanding of the upland scene in Montana. So a few years ago, we decided this, and we've been taking active measures to figure that out. And so what I did, and then long story short, kind of coming back around, is I went ahead and called up Jay Lowry over there at Ryglen and got myself an English cocker from him. And he's about 6 months old now. Hondo is his name. And he is a birdy little dog. I tell you what, it is so fun. And, Brady said he's a longtime listener, as am I. And I've heard you talk about, cockers on this podcast. And I'm not going to say it helped push me over the edge, but I did listen to him before I pulled the trigger and got a good understanding of what I was in for. So we got a cocker in tow now.
Hello, this is Kenneth Witt with Gundog Nation, and I've got to tell you guys about something that I've gotten hooked on lately. It's Faux-licious. These are gourmet instant pho and ramen bowls that actually taste like the real deal. When I'm out in the field all day and the last thing I want is to settle for bland camp food, Faux-licious is what I go to. It's authentic, the flavor, it's real ingredients, it's ready in just minutes. It's perfect for hunters, fishermen, or anyone on the go. And you can get them over 1,900 Walmarts nationwide, your local H-E-B here in Texas. Or you can just go online at fauxlicious.com. Trust me, once you try it, you'll keep a few stocked in your bag, in your backpack, or for your next adventure. I just want to say this, I want to add this to this commercial, because I know the owners of this company. They've hunted on my ranch. Joseph, he and I were actually met in Colorado on a hunting trip that was a real adventure. They are true hunters. They've hunted at the ranch, and I've hunted with them. And Anna, she is just amazing. She is the one that came up with this idea. They were both on Shark Tank. They are amazing people. So I love seeing people like this have a business. And I just had to say that in addition to the commercial, because I really believe in the product and I believe in the people that made the product. Be sure and go to fauxlicious.com or go to Walmart or H-E-B and try their product. I promise you, you will like it. Hey, there's something else. My cocker is actually at the vet tonight it sounded like she had an obstruction breathing when I took her hunting this on the very last trip. But luckily she has no obstruction. She has no infection. And she's coming around, but I was real worried about her, but I'm telling you something. I think they may have the heart of 10 dogs. I've never seen anything like them. She will hunt. You have to pick her up and put her up because she'll hunt till she passes out. I mean,
yeah.
You guys know all too well. I guess that first week in Montana I was up there, I mean, it was 90 degrees. And I couldn't hunt her over an hour because she'd kill herself. And I put her up, and she can't stand, but there's something else. That's the hard. Words can't really describe it until you own one. Right. They
just put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I really wanted. And I have two young boys, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. And, I wanted a dog that the boys could grow up with and the boys would love and he would love them back. Yeah. And I got hunting with some of these cockers and got to watch them work, both upland hunting and waterfowl hunting. And everybody has a smile on their face when that dog is around. If that dog is out of the crate, you got a smile on your face. And that was really attractive to me, right? Like having a dog that everybody wants around. You can always have, and Brady's dogs are great, but we have been around dogs where everybody appreciates the work that they do, but they ain't gonna like spend time with them after the hunt and get down on one knee and let them jump on them and lick them and stuff like that. With a cocker, every single time, everybody wants to touch and hold that dog. It's just the coolest thing.
You know, Matt, I had a hunting guide on this podcast, and we've become really good friends. I talk to him all the time. He's out in North Carolina. But he said, if you want your tips to go up, you know, he guides hunts at one of these preserves, and like 4 months out of the year. He said, if you want your tips to go up, throw a cocker in the cart with you when you're taking your hunters around. They'll have it in their lap. And he said,
I believe that.
Yeah. He said, you could take the cocker away and your tips will drop 10%, you know.
Yeah. I believe that.
Well, being in Wisconsin, Matt, did you ever get to rough grouse hunt up there?
Yes, we did. Yep, we did. And we never did it with dogs, though. I never grew up in an upland hunting family, right? So we would chase them, the rough grouse and the woodcock up there. Yep. But it was all on foot. It was more of one of those things like, oh, shit, boom.
Yeah, a lot of people do that because you can walk right up. You know, man, I hunted around Eagle River.
Okay, yeah.
Was that
very
close
familiar?
To you?
Yeah, we would be south of there about hour and a half, closer to Wausau. Okay. I actually grew up in the Green Bay area. My family now lives kind of in the Wausau area, and we spent a lot of time in that area, all the way up Eagle River and over to Ladysmith and up in the north of Highway 8 type stuff.
I learned that that's the snowmobile capital of the world, right?
Yeah.
They claim.
Yeah, lots of bar hopping on snowmobiles, flat track, short tracks. Yeah.
So, being a Green Bayer, you or your family, did you inherit Green Bay Packer tickets?
Not tickets. No, I didn't come from one of those families. But I did inherit the blood in my veins. And so I bleed green gold, although I've seen a lot of things go wrong with, worrying about the Packers. So I don't spend a ton of time worrying about them. I'll watch them just enough to be able to talk to my family educatedly is about how far I go.
Yeah. At least have something to talk about. That's probably all they talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, they always got something to talk about with the Packers. Every Packer fan does.
Now, you guys, I don't know if you want to talk about this on here, but I'll at least ask you about it. You guys produce TV shows, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we have produced a TV show the last 2 years. It's called Flying V on the Meat Eater Network. And it kind of chronicles our journey throughout the season. A little bit about land management, a little bit about fun hunting, Brady and I, the people around us, kind of just a little bit of a day in the life of what we got going on here. Last year, our first season launched. This year will be season 2, and then we're filming season 3 right now. So it's on the Meat Eater Network on YouTube, called Flying V. And we there's some really, really fun hunts that we had last year that just kind of panned out, right? And you get to see some cool habitat management, some projects that will continue to mature throughout. You get to see one start in season 1 that you'll see in season 3 as fully mature, which is really cool.
Well, I need to check you guys out. I knew about it, but when you're hunting and traveling, I don't have time. I don't even listen to my own podcast. It's that bad. Yeah. But I'm gonna watch your all's channel because I'm curious to see, especially now, knowing what all that you guys do. But so, what do you? Let me ask you this. So let's go into your ranch, man, just a little bit. I know, like I said, you've got so many things I want to talk about, but you just mentioned habitat management. And you're documenting this habitat that you guys are managing. So as ranch managers, you tell everybody what that means. I mean, you're not just like feeding cows. You all do a whole different. You're trying to attract, I guess, game and hold game. Is that part of it?
Yeah. So, we're in a little bit of a unique situation here in Montana because historically there's been legacy waterfowl properties across the country, primarily in the southeastern part of the U.S. and the eastern shoreboard, and then moving into the Midwest, as the years have gone by. And so guys are doing, moist soil management, different waterfowl management techniques. Well, while we implement some of those things up here in the north, I mean, our northern border is Canada, and so we have to come into a ranch and look at it from a 30,000 foot view and kind of break it down into a few quadrants. And what I mean by that is, our waterfowl seasons here are very long, very liberal waterfowl seasons. We've got liberal limits and a lot of days. So we are here. Montana's split between the Pacific and the Central Flyway. And so due to splits and the way seasons start and the way seasons end, we basically get 115 days of hunting here in Montana for waterfowl. And so we have to look at a ranch and a property and break it into three things, and that is early season, mid season, and late season. Because of our weather changes, you talked about when you were up here, it being 90 degrees, we'll open our season, end of September, 1st of October sometime, and it'll be 60, 70, 80 degrees. And then by the end of the season, I mean, we can be down, and we have hunts, that we've hunted that are 35, 40 degrees below zero.
Gee.
I mean, bitter cold hunts. And so we have to come in and look at a property and decide, we do the farming plans, what crops we're going to grow, where, look at the water, where the birds are going to roost and loaf. And that roost and loaf changes throughout the year. Mm-hmm. In the early season, they do things totally different than they do in the late season. We're not in the South where we have a 60-day waterfowl season and it turns on and it's just go for 2 months. Okay. And so we have to really take in a lot of factors and plan this out for how each individual property is going to be optimized, right?
Yes.
We'll also come in and we'll look at things like how to manage the pressure. Different ranches can handle different amounts of pressure. And also the hunting program, meaning how to actually hunt the property. Because a lot of times a guy will buy a duck spot and come in and there's a bunch of ducks in one spot, so you're going to go to that spot and hunt it. Well, that might be good, but it also might completely screw up the hunting for days and weeks. And so guy buys a place in Montana and wants to come up here and bring his buddies or his business partners and hunt for 3, 4, 5 days. We're looking at it and trying to make sure that the hunting is consistent throughout the time that it's being hunted. In addition to that, sustainable hunting. In addition to that, we have different elements as well. Our big game populations. We've got deer, obviously. We've got mule deer and white-tailed deer. We've got the upland birds. We also have a strong elk population in our state. And so when you're doing a duck project, ducks need three things: food, water, and safety. Well, so does a deer, so does an elk, so does a bear, so does a moose, so does everything else. And so when we're adding water and adding food and doing these things, we have an element that a lot of duck properties around the country don't have to factor for, and that is a high deer and elk population. And so it's been a lot of fun. It's a nonstop formula that we're trying to figure out every day.
And there's really no roadmap to this in this part of the world. Eastern Washington has a roadmap: flood the corn. That's what they do. That's their management strategy. And then as you work down, there's some really good techniques in Nebraska, which we have a similar ecosystem as Nebraska and the Platte. I would draw a really comparable linear to the Platte River for our eastern half of our state. But nobody's been doing this, at least that you can learn from, in the Intermountain region of the West, right? And that's where we reside. That's where the Kaiser Ranch is, which is our flagship ranch. That is where we are paving the way, right? And it has to do with sustainable hunting all season long. The other thing that Brady didn't mention is in the North Country, in addition to hunting season, we actually have a massive nesting population. So we have to create habitat for nesting as well, which is not a factor in the South.
Yep.
So your spring migration habitat and your habitat that stays and holds water, that stays and holds, and food that's available in the spring is so important for those nesting populations, so that you can have high quality hunting in October. A lot of guys that we see come up here, they want solid hunting in October because they can't hunt in the South. Well, that takes a little bit different approach when you're creating spring and summer habitat in addition to fall and winter habitat. So now all of a sudden you have a 4-season ranch that may have cattle, it may have elk, it may, we have one ranch that, calves out about 400 elk. I mean, takes a massive toll and puts a massive impact on the ground at the same time that your ducks are nesting. It's pulling in predators. It's damaging certain areas of your water or your food or your levees or whatever the case may be, right? Mm-hmm. These are just factors that aren't necessarily taken into consideration in the South that we have to think about first and foremost if we're looking to create a legacy type waterfowl ranch in Montana.
What we've learned is doing what we do is truly, and I don't say this to overstate it, it is truly a 365-day-a-year project.
Yeah.
Whether it's upland birds, big game, waterfowl, I mean, there's so many factors, and it is truly every day. It doesn't matter if it's the weekend. It doesn't matter if it's the holiday season. We've got to make sure, water's on, whether we're irrigating crops, whether we're moving water, whether the planting's happening on time, that calving and grazing is happening on time. It's really fun, and it makes it so that when Matt and I and our team go to work every day is different, man. Like sometimes all of us will be in the office together for a whole day, but that's a little bit unique. I mean, oftentimes one or all of us are out, on a ranch. Sometimes we're on multiple ranches at the same time doing totally different things.
Especially this time of year.
From a professional standpoint and a work standpoint, Ken, it's really fun because there's no such thing as the same day, man. I mean, it's different every single day, and we love it. Man, we're very blessed to do what we do.
Yeah. I know what you do is not easy, but man, I think that sounds like paradise to me. So, yeah, I mean, and I guess speaking of predator control, I know in Texas, it's open season year round, shoot any kind of predator here. You guys, it's not like that there, right? Like, I know you can't just shoot a wolf, can you? Unless it's self-defense.
No.
Tell me about that.
No. So the only predator that we can really shoot year round are coyotes.
Okay.
But we have, large populations of mountain lions, bobcats, bears. In certain parts of the state, we have wolves. All of those animals require a tag, whether it's through traditional hunting methods or trapping. Okay. And so, for example, trapping season just opened up November 1st. So just a few days ago. And, one of the guys on our team has been trapping beavers and raccoons and all these other things that will continue on because, to Matt's point about the spring nesting, we're worried about, ground nesting birds, the turkeys, the ducks, the pheasants, the huns, the sharpies, all these things. And so, again, it's predator management is really important to what we do. For the big game as well, but we kind of tend to start with the lens of wing shooting in general, whether it's upland or waterfowl. But managing the predators is a real thing. I mean, one of the guys on our team, he's raised and trained a pair of really nice dogs for coyote decoy dogs. And so he goes out and hunts them with his dogs, and it's really fun to see. And he's made a hell of a dent in some coyotes over this last season, which is another fun element to the dog work that we get to see and have done. But predator management is a real thing around here for sure, because there's so many types of them, and there are different regulations for just about every single one of them.
Hey, it's Kenneth Whip, the Gun Dog Nation podcast, and I'm very proud to have as a new sponsor Cable Gangs. That's spelled G-A-N-G-Z. Brendan Landry at Cable Gangs has developed, in my opinion, and I'm a customer, the best tie-out systems on the market. They're easy to pack, easy to store. They can coil up just like an extension cord. They use premium galvanized steel cable coated with durable UV-resistant PVC coating. Brendan can make custom products, anything you want that's related to a dog tie-out system or a cable system or a way to safely secure your dog. They've even made a system that works with a bicycle, so you can go and exercise your bicycles and have your dog running along with you. It would be impossible for me to describe to you all the different custom applications they have, so just go to their website at cablegangs.com and check it out. They make dog tie-outs, a way to safely secure your dog if you're at a field trial, a hunt test, coonhound competition, whatever that might be. These guys make the best product on the market. Check it out for yourself, cablegangs.com. Well, I could say this, guys. Being an outsider, I was in Montana in the last 2 months. I was up there 3 weeks total. In northeast Montana especially, I have never, ever in my life seen so many coyotes. They're everywhere. Every day that I grouse, I was duck hunting too, but every day I grouse hunted, my dogs jumped coyotes. And I mean, you drive down the road, they're everywhere. Is it like that over the whole state?
I mean, there's areas that have more and areas that have less. Where yours, less population density and higher bird population and rodents and everything, more rural agricultural land. So there's going to be more coyotes there. But even here, just outside of Bozeman, on some of the places we work, we still have a high population of coyotes because of all the work that we do. We also create a food-rich environment for the predators. So it's a balancing act, right? There's a biology to everything that we do. And predators, what I will say, are important to be in an ecosystem. They do play a very beneficial role. And so, we're not the guys that say you need to come in and eliminate coyotes and eliminate mountain lions and eliminate bears and bobcat. That's not the case. The ecosystem has a perfect balance of everything. And so it's just about managing them and making sure that everything is in sync. Yeah.
That's true. Even with, I'm not a snake guy, but I've got snakes at this ranch, rattlesnakes and everything else. But they keep the rats and everything else down. I mean, you're right. It's a balance.
Yeah. We have snakes too. Like I personally kill every one of them.
I hate them.
I do too. And
I hate them.
Like we have road runners. I used to have one. He's finally not here, but he would come while I was doing podcasts and peck on the patio window, and it sounded like he was going to come in too, because they're a pretty big bird, and I don't. Of course, you can't mess with them. But the one thing that they're good for, they will kill quail, your Bob Whites, but they're good for killing snakes. So I've got around my yard that I probably don't have rattlesnakes around my yard. And most of the rattlesnakes on this ranch that I've killed, over half have been within the vicinity of my house.
Wow.
And that could be because I'm here more instead of other places, but I'm always on an ATV, side by side. But I don't like them either. I'm like you, man.
I don't like them. Another thing about predators, one last thing, if you're in the West and you have a migratory population of any big game animal, so that could be antelope, that could be mule deer, that could be elk, anything that's migrating from one location to another, and you are anywhere along that journey, you are going to pick up an influx of predators because they follow the migration, right? They're following the food. And so naturally, these duck properties end up being in river corridors, which tend to be wintering grounds for any of these animals. They try to get into the river bottoms, out of the snow, out of the elements, and get into some cover with accessible food and safety. Well, the predators come too. So we see an influx of predators as the elk and the deer and the antelope migrate into some of these ranches here in Montana, which then adjusts your focus on what your control mechanisms end up being. You can only trap so much because you can only manage a trap line that's so long. So we have to contract some of that out. You may start hunting them a little bit harder, or if you have a problem with a bear or you have a problem with a mountain lion, then you start, targeting that one animal instead of trying to, just a blanket statement of let's just get rid of the lions. The lions are okay to have on the landscape, and they're actually pretty cool to have on the landscape unless they're killing things you don't want them to kill. If they want to kill some mule deer, that's okay. If they want to start killing, coming down in the river bottom and standing their ground on your dog, now that's a different story, right?
Yeah.
So, then and it's still a Wild West around here, so we still have grizzly bear, lions, tigers, and bears, and when that happens, like you got to do what you got to do, right? So
now, do you guys have a mountain lion season there?
We do. Yep. So lion season here starts, right about now, late fall, early winter, and then runs into late spring.
Okay.
Most states in the West are that way. So they'll mostly be, kind of your October, November into the late March, early April type time frame.
Okay. Now the next topic I want to get into a little bit is Brady. I know you started out in the lab world, and now you've transitioned to the Chessie world, the Chesapeake Bay Retriever. And I thought it was really interesting when you told me in depth, why that's your dog now. Not that you're an anti-lab guy, but you've done a lot of research on Chessies, and I'm dying to pick your brain about that.
Yeah, so I'll kind of start by backing up just a little bit. I got into waterfowl hunting 22 years ago, somewhere in there. And of course, you get into waterfowl hunting, you get yourself a Labrador Retriever, right? And listen, I love a lab as much as anybody. There's great Labradors out there. And my very first dog was an American Lab, awesome dog, still one of the nicer dogs I've ever ran. Unfortunately, had a bad accident, was killed when he was 4 years old.
No.
And then I kind of went down the route in the British Labradors. And again, what I'll say before I say anything, I've seen really nice dogs in everything. Great British dogs, great American dogs, great whatever breed. But for what we do up here, really cold temperatures, deep snow, and big geese, to be honest with you, the British Labradors didn't really cut it. I had 3 of them, and at least the 3 that I had tended to struggle a little bit. They were generally smaller dogs. And so we went through this, and, Matt and I, again, spending thousands of days together in the blind, we decided to go back to the American Lab side. So my dog Led that I have right now, he's an 8-year-old dog. He's out of Sweetie's Easy Rider Ford, who's Purina High Point Dog of the Year multiple years. Likely going to be nominated to be a Hall of Fame dog. Very, very well-known field trial dog. And we got Led, and he's been great, right? He's a great dog. Like Matt said, he's 8 years old. When Led was 10 months old at the trainer, he had what's called a bicep tendon avulsion. He basically broke his shoulder. And he's got a 4-inch titanium screw in his front left shoulder. Well, what happens is the tendon that runs over the front of the shoulder over time begins to break down. And so that dog, I love that dog. He's awesome, but he's not, I'm going to be honest, he's not going to live to see 12, 13. He's not going to grow old, right?
Yeah.
And so due to the hunting that we do, the hunting can be, again, in a field, in small water, in a big, fast-moving river like the Yellowstone River or, one of these big rivers in Montana. We need dogs that are very, very high drive and can handle the cold. And so I began doing research years ago on Chesapeake Bay Retrievers, and I know all the stereotypes that everybody says, they're hard-headed, they're mean, they're whatever, yada, yada, yada. Well, what I found as I started doing my research is there's quite a few breeders in the country that are breeding some very, very nice Chessies. And they're not going to bite you. They're not going to bite your kids. They're not going to do anything wrong. But they're a different dog for sure. So I right now have a dog I got from a guy named Lucas in Denmark, Maine. He runs a kennel called Rankenbrook Retrievers. And Lucas and I had talked on the phone for almost 2 years. I told him exactly the type of dog that I was looking for and exactly what I wanted. And a breeding came up and it was the right breeding. And he called, he's like, hey man, I truly think this is the one. And so I got my first Chessie, a couple years ago. Matt and I flew to Maine, went and picked him up. It was super fun. He's been at a pro trainer, a friend of ours named Nick Shealy here in Western Montana. He's got a kennel called Canton Retrievers. And he's been with Nick for almost a year. And we just got him back 3 weeks ago, and he is a hammer. He's been running hunt tests with him this summer. But, I mean, the dog's only 22 months old, 22 months old. He's already 85 pounds, big dead grass colored Chessie. Yeah, Matt's got a picture of him right there. I mean, he's an absolute hammer of a dog.
Beautiful dog.
He's only been on 3 actual real waterfowl hunts with us so far, but that dog is going to have no problem handling a big crippled live Canada goose when we send him out on a long retrieve.
I got a story about him. So we went out and hunted a new property of ours just the other day. First time we ever hunted it, and we're going to hunt smoke, right? It's the first time that we hunted smoke, just us, and we're going to go hunt the river. I mean, we got a Chessie. Let's go river hunting. And so we go out to that river, and the birds are doing it right. And it was a great hide, hunting the bank. We were on a nice long slick, but about 2/3 of the river was pushing down a side channel to the right, which was main river, and we were hunting river left. Well, we finished these geese, and they're cherry shots, like 15 yards over the water, right in the spread. And somehow, I don't know how this happened, but we crippled one of them. And the bird goes down, but gets into that water, goes head out, and just starts making its way to that side channel. Smoke jumps off that bank and just goes for the chase, and he's not going to stop. And he goes all the way down the channel to where we lose sight of him. And now he's going down, and we got a little channel out in front of us that we're going to see, main river. We're going to see, sure enough, here comes the goose, and smoke is right behind that goose going right downstream. And this is
like 300 or 400 yards away from us in very fast moving water.
Jeez.
Yeah, going downstream. And there's a big sweeping right bend that's coming up with a big eddy on it. And, we didn't envision having to retrieve ducks down there, but it would catch the bird if we ended up, having one slip by and go. That eddy would catch the bird. So Brady goes hightailing it down the bank and gets down there to where he can see smoke to make sure that, everything's all right, because there's down trees and stuff around. And sure enough, I mean, you can tell him what it looked like, because it was out of sight for me, a long ways for me. But my version of the story is they both disappear, and they're at the corner, and here they come. Smoke by his side, and Brady holding the goose all the way back. So I ended up chasing that goose down 400 or 500 yards downriver in main channel. It was such a cool moment to see, because we've thought so much about this dog prior to getting him, and then here he is, go to the trainer for a year, come back. Nick hunts with us for two hunts, and is just like, all right, here's the keys. Like, go ahead, good luck. Yeah. He's a great dog. And then we're just like, let's go to the river.
Yeah,
we do. Yeah. And that dog did. I mean, he couldn't have worked any better. I mean, I can't even. I don't have anything else to say. Like,
he did really great, and it was just a prime example of breeding and natural instinct. He had great training, but I mean, when a dog gets that far out of your sight in a moving river channel, chasing a crippled goose who can swim faster than a dog, at that point, once that happens, you're kind of SOL. It's like, well,
Yeah.
let's hope, let's see what happens. And so again, I was a little bit nervous, right? This is only the third time we've ever hunted this dog. His third real hunt ever. And I'm thinking, shit, here we go. We're gonna run into a problem, or this dog's gonna end up lost or whatever. And I don't know how long it was. It felt like forever. The truth, it was probably only 4 or 5 minutes. But then here he comes, packing this fully live crippled goose, just proud as a peacock, head up and just charging up the riverbank. And he was so fired up and brought that goose back. And we got to shoot some more ducks and geese on that hunt. But, that was kind of what I was looking for in the dogs, right? And after I'd had smoke for a little bit, I'd also been chatting with a guy in Minnesota, Adam Levy from Next Generation Gun Dogs. Mm-hmm. And Adam also knew exactly what I was looking for. And he called me one day and he said, "Hey man, I got this litter coming up, and it's an artificial insemination litter. And there's a lady in the Chesapeake Bay retriever world named Linda Harger out of Idaho, and she's very, very well known in the Chessie world, field trial Chessies, field champions, and over the decades has raised and trained and bred some of the nicest Chesapeake Bay retrievers on the West Coast, but also in the country as a whole. And Linda had a really well-known dog named Clippers Frozen Assets, and he'd produced field trial champions. Very nice dog, big 85-pound classic brown Chessie, big hard charging dog. But this dog's been dead for 30 years. Wow. And there was one straw of semen left. And Adam called me and said, "Hey, I've got this really nice female. She was best of breed at the, Chessie specialty," and sent me pictures of her, really nice gun dog. And he's like, "Man, you want hard charging, you want grit, you want drive. I think this is the one." He goes, "I don't even know if this litter's going to work." I mean, AI litter with 30-year-old straw. And so they did the breeding, and man, she had like 9 puppies and went really good. So I've now, the same day that Matt got his cocker, he and I got on a plane. We flew to St. Louis. We drove to Illinois, went to Rye Glen Gun Dogs. He got his English cocker Hondo. We then loaded up in our, Nissan Rogue rental car, and we drove to Rochester, Minnesota to Next Generation Gun Dogs. And we picked up my new Chessie female named Annie Oakley. And then we drove back. So it was 2 grown men and a little tiny rental and 2 screaming puppies. And we had a great road trip back across the country, back to Southwest Montana.
Yeah, and that sounds like a fun trip.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
So, Brady, what throws me off what you just said, you know how it's so odd to have that many pups with an AI breeding. Usually it's the opposite effect, right? I mean, you usually have 1 or 2 or 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely. It really was surprising to me, I think, and Adam and everybody at Next Generation Gun Dogs. But she had a very good, full, healthy litter. So it's kind of fun. This is a bit of a heritage Chessie breeding. I'm very excited to have this puppy. She's, same age as Matt's dog, almost 6 months old. And she is high drive.
And now you guys can do like a joint birthday party each year for your dog.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Memorial Day.
Brady.
Yep, they were born on Memorial Day.
Being a guy that's had British labs and American labs, which I've had both, actually own both, what are the major differences you see in the breeds? I know you've talked about it some. You've talked about why you went to the Chessie, but what do you see intellectually, trainability, ability? What's the big difference you see between a Chessie and a lab? Let's just generalize labs, American, British. Hey, it's Kenneth Witt with the Gun Dog Nation podcast, and we are so proud to be partnered with the National Shoot to Retrieve Association, also known as NASTRA. NASTRA has a common love for producing the best bird dogs possible. It's a great community that builds and bonds everlasting friendships. I've actually got to meet a lot of the NASTRA members who's taken me hunting and some other grouse hunting and stuff in different places. So I can honestly say I'm a member, and I'm proud to be partnered with them. NASTRA hosts national and regional field trials that emphasize the working ability of bird dogs. They have been around for over 50 years. There's a reason that NASTRA has been around that long. Please check them out at www.nstra.org and belong and support your local NASTRA club. They do have national and regional events, and it's a good place to help learn to be a better dog trainer, a better dog owner, and to compete with your bird dog. Thank you.
I think the differences between an American and a British Lab, in my experience, is they're both wonderful animals, right? Both of them can make great gun dogs. The British Labs are generally calmer, right?
Yes.
As they're advertised more of an off switch, but that also translates to field work. So the American Labs generally, again, I know people listening are going to say, I got a British Lab who runs 100 miles an hour, and I've seen an American Lab who's slow. I get it. But generally, the American Labs are going to be faster, harder charging dogs, and with a little bit less of an off switch. Although that said, I mean, Led is field trial bred of lab as you can possibly get. His dam was a QA2 dog, master hunter, ran derbies, all kinds of different things, right? Led will lay on the dog bed in the corner of the living room with the best of them, right? But he is higher drive and he is a little more wound up than the British Labs that we've been around and are around. So the British Labs are great. The truth is, they say that the average duck hunter, based on surveys, goes duck hunting 12 times a year, right?
If you're lucky. Yeah.
A British Lab is perfect for that guy and guys that hunt even more than that. But it's a perfect dog because there's 355 days that you're going to be just living with that dog in the backyard and around the house. Yeah. I think that's great. I think that for me, I just wish that breeders were more honest about what they're putting out. And here's what I'll tell you I mean by that. There are different types of guys who hunt differently, and there are different types of guys who handle and train differently, right? I and Matt, we get to hunt a lot of days every year in very extreme conditions. I'm also very much okay with a very high drive dog. I'm a different type of dog handler probably than most guys. I like a dog. I come from the horse world. I always used to say, I can put brakes on a horse, but I can't put gas in them, right? And so I like one that I have to pull the reins back and slow down a little bit. Same with a dog. For me personally, I like a higher drive dog. Now, that's going to come with some headache. There's going to be some time that he's going to be a bit of an asshole. He's going to get out of line. When he gets into a problem, he's going to get deeper into a problem than maybe a dog who's a little bit calmer and a little bit more methodical. Mm-hmm. Trainability wise, I think they're both great, right? Yeah. I was listening to a podcast the other day with a very well-known trainer named Chris Jobman from Flatlander Kennels in Nebraska. Yeah. And Chris I don't even know how many dogs he's passed at the Grand and, trains a bunch with Chris Aiken and Rhett Riddle and all these guys, right? Like very, very high-end Labrador guys. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and Chris said something, and this will ruffle some feathers. He said, there are things that an American Labrador can do that a British Lab can't, but I don't think there's anything a British Labrador can do that an American dog can't. And it's just different style of breeding, right? Different needs, different purpose. And so I think if somebody is a casual duck hunter who enjoys going out from time to time, the British Labrador is a phenomenal option. What I don't like, and you and I talked about this on the phone, Kenneth, the first time we ever talked, is I don't like when breeders, American or British or Chessie or anybody, say this is the perfect dog for all situations, because you and I both know that doesn't exist. There's not a product in the world that's the perfect thing for all situations.
That's right. It's almost like seeking a mate for marriage, right, Brady? And Matt, you're learning that now. When you get a dog, you got to get a dog for you, for your personality type, for your hunting type, for your lifestyle.
Totally.
And it's hard to find that. And new people that are just getting in the market for dogs. Matt's had the benefit of being around very good dogs and very experienced dog people, but your general population jumps out and buys a dog, does not have a clue. And you're right, Brady. I mean,
totally.
They're told that this can do it all. That's really not correct.
And I also think the guy living in a subdivision who's going to go hunting 10 times a year with 2 or 3 of his buddies should probably not be running the hottest bred field trial American Labrador out there on the market.
No.
That dog's gonna eat all of his wife's clothes. He's gonna tear the kennel apart. The guy's not gonna exercise him and train him enough to make him realize that dog's potential. I don't think it's fair to the dog or the dog owner when breeders say this is the dog that is the best dog for all situations. I categorically do not believe that garbage. That's right. I think that trainers and breeders and kennels need to be a little bit more honest and say, this is for these people, and this is where you'll get the best results. Again, I've said this over and over, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. I know there's outliers on both sides.
That's right.
2 of our ranch clients own British Labradors, and they're some very, very nice dogs. I've seen those dogs work incredibly well in the coldest of weather on big Canada geese. They're phenomenal dogs, right?
They really are.
They are outliers in the breed as a whole. Okay. They've got very good training. They've been trained by the right guys. They're handled by the right guys. They're phenomenal dogs. I've also seen American dogs that are terrible, right? I mean, again, all you can do if you buy a puppy is play the law of averages, right? You're playing the odds, right? If you breed a very hot bred male and a very hot bred female, you're probably going to have a hot bred puppy. Now, there's going to be some outliers. Just like if you breed 2 really nice dogs with a great off switch, they're probably mostly going to have a really great off switch, but there might be a couple of spazzes in there. Yes. That's okay. But I just think that there's different types of hunters, different types of handlers and owners. And for me personally, just my personality, our hunting style, if a dog is advertised and one of the very first things out of the mouth is they have great off switches, it's not the dog for me.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's a bad dog. It doesn't mean it's not the dog for most people. It's just not the dog for me. I want a dog that's all gas, right?
Yeah.
I can put brakes on them. We can slow a dog down. We can help a dog learn to think methodically. But I do not subscribe to the theory that there's one dog that is the best dog for everybody. And now I'm new to the Chessie world. And, my dog Smoke's been running hunt tests all summer. My youngest daughter is a senior in high school. I've got a son in college, a daughter in high school. If she gets out of high school, I really want to get into the hunt test and field trial game. Part of the reason I haven't done it in the past is I knew I would love it and it would consume a lot of my time. So I'm very excited to get into that. But I'm looking for dogs that are fast, hard charging, and if they're a little bit hard-headed, I'm okay with that, because let's be honest, so am I. They say dogs are like their owners. Well, Matt's nodding his head in agreement. I'm a bit hard-headed. Listen, I'm a little bit of an asshole. I like dogs that are that way as well.
Yeah.
And so I just wish that dog breeders specifically, not trainers, because they train the dog in front of them, right? They're standing next to him, putting their hands on that dog and hopefully giving you honest feedback on that dog. I just wish that breeders were a little bit more transparent on the product they're producing and who that product is going to.
Yes. Well, I've just got to give one example. I have British and American dogs both. And I have a British male that I got from Southern Oak from Barton, and he knows me and knows what I like. And so he had a dog, and I was wanting one that was started because I needed something now, and this was a couple years ago. Anyway, he's like, I've got a dog that I think is perfect for you. And he had flunked out of the service dog program. And it's Maverick. He's a yellow dog. He's in a lot of my social media stuff. He will run through a brick wall. You would, and I go to hunt tests, and I promise you guys, judges, people there think that this is an American dog. He'll run so hard at a retrieve in a hunt test that he slides into it like it's home plate, and he grabs it on the way and hammers back.
That's great.
And when he's in a blind, he's so amped up, he doesn't whine. That's a British trait. It's not supposed to be whiny, whatever. But you'll have to tell him to sit 10 times. Maverick, sit. He's just sitting there vibrating. He'll hear a duck call. He'll stand up. Maverick, sit. Sit. And here's the thing. I could get a dog that's just going to lay there on my feet, but I don't want that. I like the fact that he's wanting to run through the blind. I've actually seen him trying to climb over a blind to get to a duck. So people, and then I tell people, like, after I'm hunting for a while in the blind, I was like, he's a British dog. Like, oh no, he's not. Yeah, he's 100%. But you're right. There's outliers on both sides of the spectrum. I've got one other British dog that I have, and she's very methodical, very thinker. She's got high drive, but she's a thinker. Like I don't know. It's different. But then I have a dog off of Floyd. That's a number one dog.
Yeah.
And
That's as juiced up as it comes.
Yeah. He'll run through a brick wall and kill you, bringing it back. But he's actually a good dog outside of hunt test or outside of hunting. And
of course
he has a little bit of an off switch. He's not crazy and he's not whiny. So it's just, like you said, you just do your research as best you can. And I heard somebody say on this show one time, look past the paper. And because you can have dog that's, I was with a really experienced dog person this past weekend, and they was talking about seeing this master dog had master titles and said it was horrible, So just because they have those titles, you need to see that dog hunt, maybe hunt with that dog, and really do your research. Because, and I'm not knocking, I do hunt tests too. My dogs have titles. I'm not knocking it. I participate, but look past the titles. Purina Pro Plan. Here at Gun Dog Nation, we use Purina Pro Plan for our dogs. We actually use the Sport Performance Edition, which is 30% protein and 20% fat, the beef and bison. It contains glucosamine, omega-3s for their joints. It also contains amino acids for muscles and antioxidants. And it also has probiotics. It's guaranteed to have live probiotics in each serving. There's no artificial colors or flavors. We see the difference in our dogs. We see the difference in their coat, their performance, their endurance, and also in recovery. Be sure to use Purina Pro Plan dog food. The reputation speaks for itself. There's a reason that Purina has been around for such a long time. We suggest that you use it, and we are so proud to be sponsored by Purina Dog Food. When you're getting ready to go on your next hunting trip, make sure you pack the most efficient and reliable ammunition on the market. Migra Ammunition brings you the most diverse loads on the market. Migra's patented stacked load technology is the epitome of efficiency. 2 shot sizes stacked together to create the most diverse and efficient line of shot shells in the industry. It doesn't matter what flyway, what state, or what the weather, the standard remains the same. At Migra, reliable loads that perform in any condition every single time. We're proud to have Migra Ammunition as a sponsor for Gun Dog Nation.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely. I think that, again, the titles are great, right? I'm very much looking forward to getting into that world, but there's also, it's also can be a little bit misleading because a dog could be a master hunter, but it might have taken him 40 tries.
Yeah.
Right. And other dogs might have passed, 90% pass rate on these tests. Same with the field champion or FC, AFC, NFC, all these different titles you can put on a dog. I think it is important if somebody buys a dog, knowing they're going to have that dog for the next decade plus, to pick the dog that's going to work best for them.
Yes.
And I've had some really nice dogs that were wonderful dogs, right? And they just weren't the dog for me.
Yeah.
Some of them been sold. Some of them had been given to other people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that, and again, people are all different. I'm a type of guy, if I get a dog and he's a great dog, but he's not a great dog for me, I'm going to help find that dog a great home where he's a great dog for them.
I do the same
because
thing.
I am not a guy that's going to buy a puppy and just because I bought a puppy, I'm come hell or high water committed for the next 15 years. I'm not that guy. I come from the horse and ranch world where, we buy and sell horses, we trade, we upgrade, we downgrade, we make lateral moves. I think the same goes for dogs, right?
Yeah.
In my world, right? Again, I'm not preaching from a mountaintop here, but if a dog isn't the right dog for me, but he's going to be the right dog for somebody else, that's where that dog should go. Quick story. I got a dog years ago from Wild Rose Kennels from Mike Stewart, Mike's a great guy. I really enjoy Mike. Been to the kennel multiple times in Oxford, and bought a dog from Mike and had him trained by Wild Rose. He's very methodical gun dog. He did a great job. He wasn't, me and that dog didn't necessarily fit together perfectly. And Matt and I have a mutual friend who's a veteran, had been deployed multiple times in Iraq and Afghanistan. And he met that dog, and him and that dog bonded very quickly. And it turns out, and I'm telling you, and Matt saw it and I saw it, that our friend had come to my house and hang out with my dog, and that dog would calm him down, make him feel good. That dog was an absolute superstar as basically a service dog.
Yeah.
Our friend had PTSD, and when he was going through dark days, that dog would go hang out with him. And as soon as that dog and our buddy met, I remember telling my wife one day when my buddy left, I said, I feel like I'm boarding somebody else's dog right now. She said, what do you mean? I'm like, I know, we bought this dog. We had this dog trained. We've hunted with this dog. This is not my dog. It needs to go live with him. And that dog is still alive. He's old now, gray face, gray beard, lays under the covers at night, eats Taco Bell. He's a phenomenal dog, but guess what? He has lived a life that is so incredibly full.
Yeah.
He's gone fishing, he's gone hunting, and he's been a service dog to somebody that Matt and I love very dearly. And so that's just one example of a dog might have a better use somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've done the same as you, Brady. I've sold dogs that just doesn't fit me or just didn't, we didn't bond together. We're just different or something, or had things I didn't like. And I'll find a place for it. Somebody that I know, it'll be somebody that I know and trust, like you said. And I've done that before too, and may do it again in the future. So.
A lot of guys like brunettes. I'm more of a blonde guy, It works out well. So there's a place for every dog. There's a place for everything. But we're really excited to be going down this Chessie route. Again, I've only done 3 actual hunts with Smoke, but in the 2 years we've had him in the training, we've spent time with Nick at Campton Retrievers at the trainer. All signs point to he's going to be a great dog for us and our crew and the way and the style that we hunt. And then, Annie, who's 6 months old, is going to come up and get put into the string as well. And we got, of course, Hondo, the English Cocker, on the upland side. And yeah, man, we got the coyote decoy dogs around the crew. We got a guy that works for us, got a new, red heeler puppy, cattle dog puppy. I mean, you come into the Flying V office at any day and we look like a damn animal shelter around here. There's dogs everywhere. And it makes work fun, right?
Hey, you got diversity in the workplace.
Yes,
we're DEI hires.
That's right. So I like
One
that.
thing that I'm really excited about is Matt and I have been, really close friends for a lot of years. And there's a little bit of trash talking that goes on in between Matt and I. And so, he always for years if a dog did anything, he's like, man, Lead, for example, does not bark in the field, does not do anything. But if he's in the bed of the truck and we can pull into the goose field, he'll get a little whipped up and bark in the crate a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like, that dog is a known barker. It's a joke around the office. He's a known barker. And
he is.
You know, if anything happens, Matt's on it. He'll chirp you about it. So I was very excited for Matt to get a dog because trials and tribulations are in his future, and I cannot wait to just shovel it right back in his end of the court. So it's fun. But we love the dogs and get to do a lot of hunting with them. Again, we're blessed to do what we do, but we get the opportunity to spend a lot of days in the field with the dogs, doing a lot of cool things and a lot of cool scenarios.
Well, gentlemen, it's been an education with you guys. I'm so excited to try this knife out. I got a feeling we need to do another podcast for sure because we'll probably just scratch
anytime.
Yeah, we'll do it anytime, man.
I know
what we need for you to do is next time you come to Montana, come up, stay with us. We'll go hunt some of these ranches together, and we can do a podcast after a great morning duck shoot and a great afternoon upland walk. And we can do another podcast, but would love to have you. If you're ever passing through the state, you let us know, brother. We got places for you to stay and would love to share a blind or love to share the field with you sometime.
Well, be careful what you ask for because I'll show up at your
we don't invite a lot of people. So I mean that sincerely.
No, I'd love to. I fell in love. Matt and I talked about it a little bit before you got on. We were talking before the show. I love Montana, and I've still him where I'd been, and I love it. And I've not covered much of the west side or the northwest side, but I've been all over the east, all down the east and central and southern.
Yeah.
Well, just remember to tell everybody that's listening from California right now, it's really, really, really cold here.
Yeah, it's
you'll hate it.
It's terribly cold. Winds, man, the wind and the cold.
Everybody's
ice.
mean. It's a terrible place.
No ducks.
No ducks.
Didn't kill
ducks. Did we get them early? But they kind of pushed through, because all the water freezes.
Truth is, we're just a flyover state,
Now, are these online? These knives online now for purchase?
They are online. So we have a website. It is Flying V. So flying the letter V.us, flyingv.us. And if you go on there and you go to the shop, you can purchase a bird blade on there. And again, if you do it during the month of November, from November 4th to November 30th, you'll automatically be entered to win a hunt to come hunt for 2 days with you and a friend on the Kaiser Ranch with us. And I think it'll be really neat. It's a ranch where, people don't really get the opportunity to experience something like that. And again, I never use the word guarantee in hunting, but it is a really special place, and the hunting will be too when the winner and whoever they bring comes with them.
Well, hey, that's way better than buying a raffle ticket because you get a really, really high quality, nice knife and a chance to go on a free hunt. So
definitely,
you get a great knife. And again, going back to the knife, it's a knife that we want, you, the buyer, to enjoy, but be able to pass it down to your children and their children and their children. Again, we're not a product business. And so if we ever come out with a product, I promise you it's a heritage legacy product that will last longer than you and I are all going to be alive.
Well, listen, guys, Matt, you being the content creator, please send me pictures of your cocker, of Brady's Chessies, of your dogs. Man, I post them on all my social media because that's what people do on my platforms, is dog pictures. Yeah. And I'd love to see. I know you probably got some amazing pictures too.
We do. And I will absolutely share them with you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, hey, I hope to get to meet you all in person soon. And I will. I'll be up that way. If you ever come down south, if you finally get froze out from waterfowl hunting, you want to come down to Texas, warm up, give me a shout.
I love Texas, man. I spent a lot of time there rodeoing back in the day, and I've been right there where you live. You spent a lot of time in West Texas, Odessa and Midland and all Lubbock and that whole area. Odessa used to have, I don't know if they still do, but they had a really cool pro rodeo over New Year's Eve.
Well, it's Brady, if I'm correct, you're the expert, but I think that one in Odessa is the first rodeo of the season.
It's right there at the start. Yep. And so we used to go spend New Year's in Odessa, Texas and West Texas. and that was how we kicked off in the pro rodeo world. And man, I love West Texas. It's a great spot. I know you guys have some great hunting and just great people. We will absolutely at some point make a trip and come say hi.
All right. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank y'all so much. It's been an honor and a privilege, and thank you so much for this knife. It will get used, and I will sing the gospel about the knife to people.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it, brother. We think it's pretty special, and we're confident everybody else will as well. But, let us know what you think.
I will. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay. Bye-bye. Hello, this is Kenneth Witt with Gundog Nation, and I'd like to encourage all you listeners and viewers on our YouTube channel to check out patreon.com/Gundog Nation. For $10 a month, you can become a member of our community, and we'll have access to lots of stuff. Mainly, we'll do a monthly forum, an open forum, where you can ask me anything Gundog related, and we'll learn from each other in the community. Should be a lot of fun each month. We will do that. So check it out, patreon.com/Gundog Nation.